looking at reactance. So we've got a frequency generator, which we can actually see what the exact values are on the screen. An inductor from JCar for, I don't know, $5, and a 2.5 volt bulb, which is illuminating pretty well. And then we're essentially saying what happens to the reactance or the frequency dependent resistance of the circuit. So 2.5 hertz, now at 5 hertz, 10 hertz. So we're seeing the flickering effect change, 20 hertz, 40 hertz. Now it basically looks as a constant, 80 hertz, 160. What we should be seeing is that when there's a greater change in magnetic flux in here, we should get greater opposition from Lenz and Faraday's laws. 640 hertz, 1280. And at 1280 we can see it definitely dimming. If I double that again, 2500, it's very dim. And at 5000 hertz, yeah, it's non-existent. And so if I go back down, 2500, a little bit there, 1280. And so you can just see the effect that the higher the frequency of an inductor, the more that's affected. We can show a similar thing now, this time using the vernier circuit board. I wouldn't really recommend this, but this inductor is pretty awesome for this particular experiment. Increasing the voltage to 5 volts now, looking at 5 hertz, it's pretty bright. And if we go to 10 hertz, the reason I had to increase the voltage was because this inductor has a greater inductance, and with that comes often a greater resistance. So it's a 5 millihenry variable inductor, and so at 10 hertz it's working pretty well. At 20 hertz it's fine. 40 hertz it's pretty good. 80 hertz a bit dimmer. 160 hertz even dimmer. 320 even dimmer. 640 it's pretty dim. So if I go back to 320, and now I have an iron core, and you can talk to people about what that does. So it should increase the magnetic flux inside the inductor, so increase L, so there should be greater resistance. And so if we see as I increase, or as I put that core in, now the bulb's gone out, and as I take the core out again, the bulb's entirely illuminated. So as I add the core, I'm increasing the inductance, which increases the reactance. And so that's quite effective at showing the effect that an iron core has for the reactance of an inductor. So that's using a frequency generator, a variable inductor, and a bulb. And if you can find an inductor that has relatively low resistance with a removable core, you can do that as well.